Well, it's my pleasure to introduce Sergey from Peeranha. It's a new project on Telos, and I'm very excited about this. Now, Sergey is based here in Chicago.
Yeah, neighbors.
Peeranha is a decentralized question and answer website. The concept is similar to the Google questions that way back that we had, but with all the new developments that we have on the blockchain. The users are rewarded with a crypto token Peer for their contribution to this Peeranha. Mm-hmm. Well, Sergey, welcome to Telos World 2020. We are very excited to have you here, and we are very excited about this project. Please tell us about how this works, and we hope to see a demo if possible.
Sure. I'm glad to do that. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here. I have a presentation that I would like to share. Just one moment. Before we get into the demo, I have a few slides that I would like to share. So Peeranha, as Michael said, we are a decentralized question and answer platform. And the difference is that it's built on blockchain. It's fully decentralized with all the content owned by the community and the users being rewarded with the Peer tokens. Yeah, we launched on Telos recently. Actually, tomorrow will be the month since we officially opened to the public. We launched a little bit earlier, but it was a long launch week. So here we are. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about why we're building Peeranha. We see the shift today in the world towards peer-to-peer. There's different services appearing and getting popular, like Uber, Airbnb, Fiverr, and they're proving that people today can provide services to each other directly and make a living out of it or make like significant supplemental income. And another thing that is emerging is Web 3.0, I guess called Web 3.0, and the blockchain. Let's talk a little bit what is Web 3.0 and how I see it. When the internet first appeared, it was very simple. It was basic HTML pages, some emails, and so on. But then in Web 2.0, we discovered how easy and convenient it is to use the internet, and a lot of aspects of our life, like a lot of data, our offline data, was moved to the internet. And it got very convenient. We got social applications. We do a lot of things on the internet. And it got very exciting. But there's a lot of problems that started appearing over time. Like it's getting more and more obvious that corporations that own our data, own our personal data, own all the content that we're creating on the internet, and they do with this information whatever they want. They monetize it however they want. A lot of times it's not very ethical. They monetize it and do not provide any share for the users. And Web 3.0 is promising to change that. It is focused around users' privacy, security, data ownership, and fair economic incentives on the internet. And why we're building Q&A specifically, right? And why build another Q&A website? And we have two long-term goals and missions that aligns with what I just said. There are great Q&A websites like Stack Overflow, and they are awesome. They're very helpful to us every day. I myself, as a developer, using it every day, and it saves me hours and hours of work. And it's easy to kind of imagine how much money it is saving to the companies and the people who are using Stack Overflow when like some problem can be solved in a matter of just minutes or seconds in one Google search instead of trying to research it on your own or looking for some other resources. But at the same time, all this content that is created by the users, it is owned by Stack Overflow, and whatever profit they generate from this content, they get it. They're not sharing it with their users. And we see this as something that can be solved with the blockchain. This is kind of our long-term goals and missions. At the same time, we see that Stack Overflow is focused on larger communities, and smaller communities and smaller projects. They don't have a Q&A place to go, and they're handling a lot of communication in Telegram channels or Discord channels. And those tools, they're great to receive some replies live, but they're not very great to following a thread of the communication, like asking question and then following all of the answers. It's not great for tracking who's in the community contributing the most. Like for someone who's new to the Telegram channel or the community, they cannot see from the communication who is exactly providing the most value to the community and has the most recognition. So we see it as very helpful as a tool right now for any project of any size. And talking about the first two problems, just to give an idea of like how much corporations make profit from the content generated by the users. Like if we look at these three websites, which are the top visited websites on the internet, they have very significant valuations. So the corporations create significant profit from all the content that is created by the users. Let's talk a little bit more about how Peeranha is different from other Q&A websites, which I kind of mentioned the problems before, but basically this is the problems we're trying to solve. Like the content that is created on Peeranha is owned by the community and the users. It's 100% decentralized. It exists on a blockchain and IPFS. We do not store this data on our servers, maybe for just some convenience purposes to speed up the user experience. But overall, it's available to the public. And our goal is to build a token economy that will be fairly incentivizing all of the participants. And if you think of the participants, there are different roles of those. Like there's users who posting questions, users who are answering those questions, and us as the developers providing the support. So all of us is part of the same community, and the economy that we're trying to create should reward everyone in a way that there is economic incentives for us to participate in that. Right, a little bit on how it works before we getting into demos. In general, it's very simple and very similar to any other Q&A website. There's one user who asking questions, another users answering questions. Asking question is free and answering question is free. And asking question is not just free, but also those users earn the reputation for asking good question. And in addition to that, they get the reward for asking good question. And the reason why those users should be rewarded is because the value of Q&A is not just one person ask the question and other person answer the question. The real value is thousands of other people who find the same post and find the answer really quick. Like this is the real value. That's why someone who asked a good question that is valuable to many other users also needs to be rewarded. And answering the question, of course, is rewarded as well with the reputation and the tokens. So as I mentioned, users earn reputation and the status. And how users earn the reputation? The question, again, is simple. They earn the reputation by asking question or providing the answer that is helpful to the community. Like just posting a question or an answer does not increase users' reputation. The reputation is increased only when other users find it valuable and they either upvote question and answer, or for example, the user who asked the question accepted the answer as the best. So all this reaction from the community, that's what increase the reputation for the authors of the questions and answers. And at the same time, reputation is something that cannot be purchased. It's something that can be only earned, and it is different from the token. The reputation, this is something that provides users, like members of the community, the recognition. Like someone who is a new member to the community can look at the reputation of the different users and see who's providing the most value to the community. In addition, like as the reputation is going up, as the status is going up, users are getting new privileges, and they will have more impact during the moderation. So Peeranha is built in a way that it is community moderated. Users can moderate which questions need to be deleted, and so on. So the reputation impacts the moderation. Oops. Let's talk about rewards a little bit now. So rewards are a little different from the reputation. They are related. Like rewards are assigned based on the reputation or earned by the user. And it is a reward happen in peer tokens. If we talk about token a little bit, peer token has the limited total supply of 100 million peer tokens, and 60% of those tokens will be used to reward users. 40% will be used for funding the project along the way. The tokens are created weekly at the same time when the users are rewarded. And this emission, it starts with 100,000 peer tokens per week, and then that emission reduces over time. But why I'm saying the maximum emission, we don't want this token in the beginning to be like, we don't want to distribute too many tokens in the beginning to small amount of the users to kind of keep the value of the token higher when it's going to become tradable and make it more interesting for the investors getting the token. So the maximum possible reward in tokens is 1 reputation point will earn 10 peer tokens, and this is current reward. Whenever we get to the point where weekly reputation earned by all of the users will be over 10,000 reputation points, at that point we are capping the reward pool to the maximum emission, which will be 100,000 tokens for the next year. And those tokens will be distributed proportionally to the rating that is earned by the users. And in addition to that, that emission rate will be going down over time. So the rewards, basically right now, they are the highest. And those who starting using Peeranha right now, they're risking the most because the platform is young, and that's high risk in that. So they rewarded higher than those who joining along the way as the platform is getting the popularity. Along the way, we are planning to replace, so emission will be going down, and at some moment it will be going down to 0. But once we're adding the paid services on the website that will be purchased using peer tokens, all of those services that are purchased will be distributed between development team and the users, like as a rewards for their contributions. What we're planning right now is 75%, like majority of the profit will go to the community, rewards for user contributions, and 25% will be kept for the development team to keep the project up and running. So we talked a little bit, mentioned the paid services, and we mostly talked about the supply part of the peer token, like new tokens will be generated and created, but the value of token that has only supply is basically 0. So we need to create utility of the peer token. And we have several ideas what can be done, and we in progress of adding those features. Examples of those features would be like bounties. For example, I want my question to be answered quicker, so I can assign the reward for someone who provides the best answer as a bounty. It will be possible to stake peer token, but not in a sense where you stake the token and you earn some interest, but in a way that you stake the token and your rewards getting kind of multiplied. We're trying to add gamification component to that. It will be possible to promote your questions. If, for example, I want my question to appear on top because it's really urgent for me to get the answer, I can provide the bounty for that question as well as promote it to show up on top in the list of the questions. These are all kind of internal uses of the token. In addition to that, we're thinking of the ways how can we involve external usages of the token, like what paid services can we provide. Like one of the examples, it could be job postings similar to what Stack Overflow is doing. And we'll be looking for other ideas, trying to come up with other usages for the token. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we move to the demo is about user experience and our technical choice. Like why we picked Telos, why we picked EOSIO, because it's a very significant part of what we are doing. Like I myself, before I started Peeranha, I was involved in multiple blockchain projects. I worked with Ethereum, worked on like 2-3 projects built on that. And one of the things that I saw a lot is like really poor user experience. It's really complicated to use dApps as they are built today, especially on Ethereum. And the problems are, first of all, is the transaction fees. I see it's like a huge showstopper for the users. Like in order for me to start using the app, I have to buy Ether. To buy Ether, I have to go to some exchange. To buy Ether on exchange, I have to do KYC. And then I have to pay for each action in the app. And if we compare that process to traditional process like Stack Overflow or like Airbnb, where they change the label tags to get higher conversion, like dApps are so much behind. So it was a huge criteria for us to build something with good user experience so we can reach mass adoption, not just technical people who are willing to install MetaMask or Scatter, but our goal is to reach the mass adoption. That's why EOSIO had, like, I personally was really excited when EOSIO was announced, like transactions that are quick, transactions that have no fee for the end user. It was really exciting, but when the mainnet was launched, there was a lot of problems showing up, like RAM price and that CPU congestion issues. And that's where Telos saved us. Like, Telos, good grant, the community, yeah, everything clicked and it worked out really great. In addition to choice of the blockchain, we also wanted to do things a little bit different than other dApps are doing. To reach mass adoption, it should be really easy for someone who doesn't understand blockchain, who doesn't want to understand what is private keys. It's important to make it easy for them to sign up and not get confused along the way. But at the same time, we wanted to preserve the privacy and ownership of the private keys to the user. We don't want to store users' private keys on our servers. So that's why we built our email sign-up feature that basically you can think of as just encrypted cloud storage for your keys. It's not really anything else. Like as Scatter or Scroll Wallet, they store your keys encrypted on the machine where you're running it. The same way we are storing your keys encrypted, but in the cloud. All right, demo time. So I have 10 minutes, right? Actually 5 minutes before the Q&A. All right, so this is Peeranha. If user is not logged in, the user coming to the website for the first time, what they see is the list of all of the questions that are being asked, and the questions are sorted from newest to the oldest. It's really easy. Like, you see the question, click on it, and basically you can post the answer. And if I want to ask my question, I just click on the Ask Question button. The Peeranha is organized into the communities. This way, we can make sure that the questions that I'm interested in are within the same community, and I can subscribe to the channels that are interesting to me. So this is the list of the communities that we have right now. Each community has its own list of the tags. So the tags are something that would allow to classify questions even further. The search is not very advanced right now, but in the future it will be possible to sort the question or filter the questions based on the tags. And once I signed up, I can sign up to some of the communities that I'm interested in. And at that point, I'm getting the feed. Like the feed is basically the list of the questions only from the communities that I'm interested in. So once I looked at the question, if I know the answer, I basically go and answer it. As I mentioned in the presentation, asking question and answering question does not earn any reputation to the user. Reputation is earned by upvoting the questions, right? Approaching the questions and answers from the community. And upvoting is done very easily in this area of the answer or the question. So once I engage on the platform, I start earning reputation. And at some point when my reputation is maturing, I'm able to pick up my rewards. To pick up rewards, I need to go to the wallet, which shows me the list of the rewards week, starting from the reward week where I signed up. And for each week, it shows me what was my reward if I already picked up that reward. So the week 3, my reward was 60 Peer tokens, and I already picked it up, so I can see it in my wallet. Whatever is coming for week 4, after next week, right, after January 26, it will appear here and will be available for me to pick it up. Right, so that's simple. One thing that I probably want to show as well is the sign-up process and maybe clarify a couple of the things there. Let me log out. Once I go to sign-up page, I have 2 options to sign up. I can sign up with email, or I can sign up with a wallet. A wallet is very helpful for us right now. Like majority of our users are from Telos, EOS community. They understand the blockchain, understand the keys, and they most probably are not willing to trust someone else to manage their keys. So that's the option for the advanced user to sign up and use Peeranha using the wallet, like Scatter and Squirrel wallet supported today. But I would like to show the email option. Yeah, the first thing that I need to do with the email option is to confirm my email, and I'm doing it by receiving the code and email with the code. Once I confirm the email, I have 2 options here. The first and default option is for someone who doesn't know what is Telos account, doesn't want to know what is Telos account, or wants us to create Telos account for them. With this option, all that users need to do is create the password, but what is also important is to write down and somewhere save the master key. I already mentioned that Peeranha wallet does not store the private keys on the server in the raw format. They store it only encrypted, and they store it encrypted twice. One version we store encrypted using the password. Another version that we store is encrypted using the master key. So in case if the user lost the password, the only other way to restore the key is using the master key. So it's not possible for us to ever restore the private key that lost password and the master key. That's why it's very important to save it somewhere safe. Another type of the user could be someone who has Telos account, but they want to use Peeranha from any device, from mobile device, other computer, and so on, and they trust us to manage their active key. In this case, by clicking I have Telos account, we ask for Telos account name and Telos active private key. But it's important that private key that user provide here, it doesn't leave the browser unencrypted. So it is being encrypted using the password, and only encrypted version of that key is being stored on Peeranha servers. That's simple. Yeah, once I complete this step for setting up the password, all I have to do is just define my display name, and I'm ready to use. I will not be creating fake accounts on production, but basically the next step is quite simple. I stop sharing, and let's see if we have any questions.
That was a great presentation, Ilin.
Thank you.
So the one question that comes to my mind, I saw that there were a few communities. Now we have lots of dApps on Telos, and I'm sure many of them would want to be there. So how does one approach to be a community on Peeranha? Is there some process where you select communities, or?
So our primary criteria right now, we want to be kind of main Q&A for the project. At least this is our direction right now, and this is our strategy. We want the project that won't use us as a primary Q&A, and we are trying to focus around blockchain at the moment. That might change, but this is our strategy for growth right now. So the easiest way for the projects that are related to the blockchain, and if they want to have community on Peeranha, just reach out to our Telegram channel, send us email to our support, or reach out to me in Telegram directly. But at the same time, there is a process for community, for the users to suggest and create new communities through voting. Like once users reach certain reputation, they can suggest new community to be created. And after that community getting enough votes, it will be created automatically. And for that one, we do not control, and we will not be, as long as that it is peaceful, friendly community, we will not do anything to stop it.
Excellent. Yes, I have very high hopes for Peeranha. It's a very exciting project, and I know it has been useful for me in the past to ask questions. I am sure as the platform matures, you will see more and more very useful questions that will be useful for the entire community.
Thank you. Yeah, and if we don't have any questions, I just want to say thank you for all the support from the Telos community. It was really great. We didn't expect that much support, like with a good grant, with all the projects signing up, like users trying, like being so patient about all the bugs that we have and the features that we're lacking. Just thank you all. It's really been great months.
Thank you, Sergey. We are very grateful that you took the time to join us. Thank you.
Thank you.